All right, so this is going to start the beginning of the Unit 7 notes, Properties of Waves and Sound, Part 1. This will be the last part of physics for physical science this year. After this, we'll start chemistry. And for this intro part, go ahead and highlight the top part. You're going to need something to write with and a couple of highlighters. We're going to look at this intro section. It says, imagine sitting by a lake on a beautiful day. Sunlight shines through the trees and warms your face. You hear the sound of nearby birds chirping. A fish jumps out of the water and splashes back in, making ripples in the water. These events all have one thing in common. Light, sound, and ripples in the water are all forms of energy carried by waves. So underline that word waves there. So, our question says, give other examples of waves around you. So think in your everyday life, what are some examples of waves that are around you? And go ahead and answer that question. We've got a lot of examples here. We've got some water waves. We've got light waves, sound waves, and we have that these are forms of energy. So you can use your Chromebook to help you if you can't think of any on your own. So pause the video and answer this question of examples of waves around you. There's lots of different examples that you can come up with. Sunlight as well. All right, so some that I have are microwaves, are example of waves. We use them to cook our food. Radio waves are a wave that we use for information and communication. Also entertainment for music, and heat waves, radiation that we learned about, the way that heat is transferred through waves, are just a few examples. All right, so go ahead and highlight waves and energy, and it says a wave is a disturbance that transfers energy through matter. A wave is a disturbance that transfers energy through matter or space. If you throw a pebble into a pond, waves move outward from the spot where the pebble entered the water. Energy from the pebble's splash causes the water to move up or down as the wave passes. This motion is known as a disturbance. All waves are disturbances that transfer, and transfer is just a fancy word for move energy from one place to another. So while the pebble went this way, the ripples went that way. And those are perpendicular to one another. So label that in your picture. Then highlight this section. Waves and medium. Mechanical waves require a medium. A medium is just a fancy word for matter. And notice that the word medium starts with an M and the word matter starts with M. So I would highlight that. That's a little memory trick to help you remember that. In order to transfer energy. A medium is a material that is disturbed by a wave. For example, sound waves. Sound travels through air, water, or a solid object to reach your ears. Ocean waves use the medium of salt water, and earthquakes use the medium of the Earth's crust. Those are seismic waves, earthquakes. When traveling through a medium, a wave displaces the particles of the medium. The wave moves the particles from their original resting positions and then back. The particles do not travel with the wave. They move up and down or back and forth. So there's a typo right there, and I'm going to know if you're paying attention as you follow along, because I want you to correct that in your notes, and as I walk around the classroom, I'll see if you have. They move up and down or back and forth after the wave passes. The particles return to their resting position. For example, think about a crowd doing the wave at a football game, or how an ocean wave lifts you up and then back down as it passes by you. Some waves such as light waves and radio waves, do not require a medium through which to travel. These waves belong to a group of waves called electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves can transfer energy through empty space called a vacuum. That is how energy from the sun passes through 150 million kilometers of airless space to reach Earth. That's a typo. Let's fix that. You see this energy as light and feel it on your skin as heat. You will learn more about electromagnetic waves and light in Unit 8. Look on the next page for the waves family tree diagram. Okay, so here's our waves family tree. This is very similar to our energy family tree with potential and kinetic. We have waves at the top, we have mechanical waves, and then we have electromagnetic waves. Mechanical waves require a medium, and they're going to branch into longitudinal waves, which move parallel, and transverse waves, which move perpendicular to the medium. Examples of longitudinal waves will be sound waves, and examples of transverse waves will be water waves. This is going to be Unit 7, what we're learning about the next few weeks, and this is going to be Unit 8, what we'll learn after, and then in Unit 8 we'll compare these two types of waves. So electromagnetic waves do not require a medium, and we're going to learn about the electromagnetic spectrum, which includes visible light, microwaves, infrared, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, gamma waves, and radio waves. All right, so characteristics of waves. All waves have certain characteristics in common. These include wavelength, which is literally the length of the wave, frequency, and amplitude. Wavelength, and that symbol is the Greek symbol lambda, and you literally write it, to me it looks like a pi symbol that lost its leg. So you draw a little line like that, and then the little curvy top. Is the distance from any point on a wave to the identical point on the next wave. A common way to measure wavelength is to find the distance from the highest point to the next. Waves with short wavelengths transfer more energy than waves with long wavelengths. So this, in this picture right here, from this point to this point, that's the wavelength. And from this point to this point, that's the wavelength. It's the length of the wave. The wavelength literally tells you what it is, its definition. Make sure that you have all of that written, even what the little Greek symbol is. Now, frequency is how often something occurs. So in wavelength, or in terms of waves, frequency is the number of waves that pass a point in 1 second. The unit measurement for frequency is hertz, Hz. 1 hertz equals 1 wave per second. If 3 waves pass a point in 1 second, then the frequency is 3 hertz. And my memory trick for that is if something has a very high frequency, like a microphone, when it gets too close to the speaker, it makes that really high pitch sound. Then it has a high frequency, and we say it hurts our ears because the unit for frequency is hertz. Frequency and wavelength are inversely related. That means when one thing increases, the other decreases. So when frequency increases, wavelength decreases. One thing goes up, then the other goes down, and vice versa. Waves with high frequencies transfer more energy than waves with low frequencies. And then we have a picture to kind of help us see how all of that works. So this has a high frequency. Take a moment and highlight. So it's going to have a larger number. If we count our wavelengths that we've got, you should get around 9. This has a lower frequency. If we count our wavelengths, we should get around 4.5, and that's assuming that our time here is 1 second. Okay, we're almost done for today. The last little piece that we have is on amplitude. We always like to talk about amps in terms of speakers, how loud they can play the music. So amplitude is the maximum distance that particles move from their resting position. It is the distance from the midpoint so this would be the midpoint there in this picture, label that, or resting position, of the wave to the crest. Here is the crest, label that, which is the highest point, or the trough, that is the lowest point. So the crest is the peak or the highest point of the wave, the trough is the lowest point of the wave, and the midpoint or the resting position is where the wave would be if there were no wave at all, if this were water and it were perfectly flat. So I always think, like, my memory trick for this, because y'all know that's how I remember everything, is like when you feed farm animals, you have a feed trough that's dished out, and that's where the food goes, is in the trough. And then our last little piece is a wave with a high amplitude transfers more energy than a wave with a low amplitude. Think of ocean waves. On calm, fair weather days, ocean waves are relatively short. During violent storms, such as hurricanes, ocean waves are much taller. They have higher amplitudes and carry more energy. Likewise, a sound wave with a high amplitude causes a loud sound, and a sound wave with a low amplitude causes a soft sound. So this wave right here would result in a very loud sound. So take a moment and highlight this wave with all of its crests and troughs. Note its resting position or midpoint, and note that it would make a very loud sound, whereas this, with a very low crest and trough, would make a very soft sound. Okay, so now it's time for you to practice. You're going to do the next few questions. Let's see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, and 4 on that page. 5, 6, and 7. You're going to answer these questions using the notes that we just did together, and let me know if you have any questions.